just introduction. So my name is Vinny Lima, and with me I have Christina Lima. So I'm going to talk a lot about GetBlok Farms, but a lot of credit I think has to be given to Christina. She goes by Chrissy as well. She has been helping plan what this solution is going to be bringing to the local region. And our focus around GetBlok Farms as an entity is to provide hyper-local, cost-effective, and environmentally sustainable produce year-round. And we achieve it through the use of hydroponics and through some particular mechanisms that hydroponic is used for growing produce, especially in our region here, where we have 3-4 months of climate that's it's not conducive to outdoor farming. Okay, and so who we are, we're based out of West Aliquippa, and the reason why we picked West Aliquippa is because there's the abundance of space and land, a very low cost for us to acquire and to develop and bring this pilot to bear. Okay, we are officially registered with USDA as a Beaver County farm, 1714, and we use controlled environment agriculture, or CEA for short, which is meant to eliminate risks of growing produce and anything agricultural wise, dealing with the climate, pests, and so forth. And our approach is to purposely be hyper-local. And what does that mean? That is bringing agriculture close to the communities of need, and in not necessarily need from an economic disadvantaged status, but any community has a need to acquire food, and produce is one of those aspects, and also shortening the range for where the produce comes from. It is we're women and minority owned, operated together with Chrissy, my wife, and she is helping lead a lot of the crop planning for our seasonal and our yearly produce. I'm focusing a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the construction and business aspects to bring this to bear. We're based out actually out of the old St. Joseph School, which is an interesting history. We're actually doing a 2-phase effort where you can see in the map here, we're actually redeveloping the land next to the old school where the rectory and the church used to be. We're actually redeveloping that for the hydroponic farm infrastructure. And we're also working on the building where we're going to be remodeling and rehabbing it for multi-use purpose, including nutritional programs. And again, this is something that would be a multi-year investment, a multi-year effort. But our initial phase here in 2023 is bringing the hydroponic farming to bear. Okay, so why GetBlok Farms? How we approach hydroponic farming is actually very innovative. As I mentioned earlier, our focus is to lessen the farm to fork distance. So one of the big challenges, and I think Mary Alice and the team, when you do your surveys, everywhere we did our market survey locally and regionally, everybody's having a challenge, especially now where there's less supply of certain products. The product prices are going through the roof. The quality of those products are mediocre at best, right? So you buy lettuce, a head of lettuce in Walmart or your local shopping center, and you put it in the fridge, and a couple of days later, it's already wilting and slimy. It's you lose its use. And the reason being is because you look at the supply chain or where produce comes from, it comes from Florida, California, or Mexico, or other regions of the world. And so it takes a week and a half for it to actually be from being harvested to your plate. That shortens its lifespan. And so what we're bringing to the community here is increased durability and the quality, which we'll talk about as well. Secondly is the consistency. So by using hydroponic controlled environment, we are able to guarantee a consistent environment for growth, that it doesn't matter if it's negative 20 degrees outside or 110 degrees outside, or whatever pests are attacking the region or coming through the region during the season, we can minimize that impact, and we can a lot of time reduce it. And we can also focus on deploying these units of contained environment closer to communities. So we chose Aliquippa as our starting pilot, but the goal is to be able to do this in a modular manner, in a repeatable manner, where we can place it closer to other communities in the region. And so as we talk about controlled environment, in the way that we do advanced hydroponics, is a combination of traditional vertical farming, and there's two types of vertical farming. There's horizontal vertical farming, if that's even a thing to say, but it's also true vertical drip irrigation, which you can see here in the picture. That's actually a picture of inside the containers, a 40-foot container, 16,000 pound, 8-ton unit that grows produce vertically. And it uses technology to manage the nutritional irrigation and nutritional the nutrients that are irrigated for the vertical panels that you see here, but also maximizing the technology and science on the lighting. For example, you can see here the red and the blue. The red and the blue is actually proven scientifically to be the best part of the light wave that gives the most result for consistent growth. Okay, and so all of this is tied into technology in the cloud. We can control the flavor, the texture, the color of produce from my iPhone. Okay, so it's bringing technology, agricultural technology, to the local community. Okay, we are going to be using GMO-free seeds. It's very difficult to find them nowadays, but we're trying to focus on GMO-free where possible. No herbicide and pesticide. Again, because of the reduction of the elements in a controlled environment, we're able to reduce the need for consistent herbicide and pesticide applications. And last but not least is because this is a controlled environment, water is recycled, and we are using renewable energy, and we have plans in our construction of the adjacent building to put solar panels, which is going to generate about 65 kilowatt hour that will be used for the farm. So it effectively would be a net zero operation. And again, it's the growth and the reclamation of water and humidity allows us to be about 97% less water than traditional farming. Now, how do we plan on delivering this to the community? One of the big focus is to enable community members to be precise to be able to acquire what they want when they want. And so we're taking this CSA approach, which is a community support agriculture, which is typically you subscribe for, let's say, a delivery every week or every other week, and you subscribe for a month or for the season. We're going to be able to provide a subscription to be very granular. You can choose and build what we call build your own basket, that you can choose from what we're growing or what we have in our catalog, specifically what you want and how often you want, and we'll be able to provide that as well. And so it's a little more precise than choosing generally to receive a basket of random products. It's actually very prescriptive of what you want. And we're also working on the technology side to allow you to even see almost like the domino order process. If anybody ordered Domino's pizza, I find that very amusing. It shows kind of the permutation of being a seedling to the nursery, which you see in the left over here, is a nursery station, to actually being planted on the vertical panels and actually growing with photos. So we're actually developing the technology so that the consumer can develop a relationship over time of the food they're going to be buying and consuming. Okay. Next is, I'll talk about our mission. When we developed this, we wanted to focus not only on the innovation for agricultural technology, but we also wanted to tie in learning and health, which is really the ultimate goal and the output of what we want to achieve for this mission. So that our title mission is Learn, Innovate, Eat Healthy. And the learn is focusing very earlier on in the life cycle around education outreach, participating with you guys, participating with Penn State Extension on educating people about their food, educating about the supply chain, educating them about how to make informed decisions. The technology innovate aspect is to help people who have a passion or have a desire to get into the space, as well as to maybe develop a career in the space, to have hands-on access to the leading edge global technology that's transforming agriculture. Okay, and so we're bringing that locally, and we're investing to bring the technology locally. And then, lastly, but not least, is the transparency and advocacy. So all of our materials, our consumption, our metrics will be made available, and we will be sharing that with the community so that people understand what goes behind growing something besides just planting underground? How do you know where your food comes from? How do you know the source? How do you know it's appropriately selected, so that they can also make informed decisions when they go to the grocery store, and being an advocate for healthy living and healthy foods. So what are we doing in 2023? So just since we spoke last year, we've been very busy in the construction phase in preparing the infrastructure to bring the hydroponic container to Aliquippa, having it tied into the electric grid, having water, having the infrastructure to actually host it, to secure it. And we have developed a selection of pilot crops that will be growing most likely February, late February, early March. We're still waiting on some infrastructure components that are, due to the supply chain, are back ordered. We're waiting for that to be installed, but there's active progress to achieve that. Our best guess would be February and going into March, where we'll start planting. And we want to participate with all the other organizations on this call and Aliquippa to partner in what should be our pilot crop as we grow and we start optimizing the farm to start doing this in mass, in volume, consistently. We have identified a couple different categories here as suggestions. From lettuce, you can see here on the screen, we have 5 varieties of lettuce we plan on growing initially. For leafy greens, we have 4 varieties that we feel are going to be quite interesting. We were trying to mix things up. We have ability to grow hundreds of different types of products. There are some that are very common that you find in your local grocery store, and there are some that, in our research, it's hard to find, but they're delicious and they're very interesting, that you will find that we can grow here locally and bring that to people's awareness and educate them that these varieties of lettuce and leafy greens or herbs and roots exist, right? And they're delicious and they're very nutritious. So we're trying to bring those locally, where the main grocery stores and supply chains of produce, they just don't have an interest to do that because it might be too expensive or too niche, or they just don't have an interest. Okay. We do want to, highlight that this is made in Aliquippa. So we're trying to come up with a nice fancy logo to be able to put on all our packaging and all our products. So that way we bring awareness of what Aliquippa is trying to do in the nutritional market. In herbs and roots, we have a couple varieties here. Again, for herbs, we have 5 varieties, 3 varieties of roots that will be growing. One of the things we found also is that there's a real challenge on some of these products, like lemon basil. It's expensive to be able to find and even buy it. And if you do find it, you find in the little packets that are just exorbitant amount of price. And so we're trying to bring some of these, identifying in our market analysis, bring products that are just out of reach for the community to buy, but they have an interest, and they might be delicious, they might be great garnish, they might be a great nutritional value, but it's just not financially possible to buy them. So we're looking to bring them in a cost-effective manner that the community can take advantage of. Now, the nutritional education, let me go back. Nutritional education, again, everything that we're going to be bringing to the market will have a pre and post component. One is going to be ideas around what's available in the market, educating people through our social program, social communication and marketing programs, what's available out there to expand the horizon on products available. And then the post component is helping people think about, how can I use this type of lettuce in a more creative way? How, coming up with new recipes. We're doing a lot of research work, and I have to credit Chrissy about that, doing a lot of research of what others are doing around the world with different products and bringing them to Aliquippa and the local region. And so we do, part of why we're participating here is to partner with each one of you to help solve maybe some of the pain points that you may have in acquiring some of these products in a cost-effective, high quality manner, but also to contribute back. So all of these ideas and programs that each one of you are presenting, we want to contribute that back, and that'll be part of our commitment as well. And then last but not least is also enable research and development. So talking, we're planning to talk with the school district as well around how can we bring some R&D and provide the platform and the technology and means for people to experiment. USDA, through the different programs that they have tons of funding as well to help incentivize research and development on specialty crops in the interest of growing the United States leadership around agriculture. We want to provide a mechanism to extend each one of you to have access to that, and we want to be able to participate in that. And last but not least is how to order, how to participate. So we've been very busy developing a very what we feel is going to be an innovative platform that any one of you through your phone, through your computer, can access our catalog of products. And you can actually create, you can subscribe, you can manage what is grown and what's delivered. We're going to be offering ad hoc purchases, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually subscription methods that you can choose and pick which products you want to be part of that subscription as well. And we're going to be offering delivery. We're going to be doing weekly delivery. Again, focusing on hyper-local. We're not delivering to all of Pittsburgh. We're focusing on a radius of where we're growing this product, and we're making it available for delivery, as well as for pickup. Our headquarters in Aliquippa, as well as we're going to be participating this season in the local farmers market. Okay, and I think this is very important that we want to reiterate our commitment to the local region and focus on hyperlocal. We're going to be hiring locally, right? So we're going to start ramping up in the next month or two a hiring initiative to bring people who we need help to be able to grow, operate, maintain this type of technology and contained environment. We're prioritizing the capacity of what we grow to the local communities, tying in the education, as we mentioned. We're guaranteeing our freshness and quality, okay? So if you receive a product from us and you're not happy with the freshness and quality, we'll make it right. And so that's one of the big differentiator is the ability to guarantee, because I know I can guarantee the freshness and quality, and we wanted to extend that to the community. We talked about the integrated supply and partnership with the local communities. And last but not least, we're going to be offering a program this probably next 6 months that for registered nonprofits, you'll get priority access at cost of our products, because we want to partner in tailoring our production capacity to the local community demand. Right, Mario, as you mentioned about doing the surveys, understanding what challenges people are having in their local community, what they are not able to access, what they want to access but they can't afford. We want to be able to fine-tune our crop program. And if you're interested into participating into that, if you're a nonprofit, we would love to be able to support your concern and be able to extend that price advantage and priority to you as well. Okay. Last is our contact. This is how you can get a hold of us. With all this technology, with all these great, cool, shiny lights, it's still back to the local community, and we want to be able to be accessible. So a lot of you have met me in person. Hopefully you will have more exposure to Chrissy as well. She'll be more involved in the products. But this is how you can get a hold of us via email, via phone, and via our social programs.